Hi everyone and welcome to Hallyu World. Today our topic will be Korean men's makeup, and today I have Mia, who will be our makeup artist for today, and she also has her own channel called Asian Beauty Secrets. So Mia, can you explain about your channel for us?
So basically, growing up as a Chinese girl in a Western country, I feel like a lot of traditions have been lost. So I wanted to share some beauty and tips that I kind of picked up growing up. And it also concerns today people, whether it's like acne solution, makeup tutorials, skincare, things like that. And also like traditional methods like pressure points that can make you feel healthy and beautiful from the inside out.
So today we're going to be talking about Korean men's makeup, and it did actually start in South Korea, but it quickly spread around the world and especially in North America. A lot of Korean men like to use makeup to look good in job interviews or formal occasions, or even to have confidence in everyday life. Today we are going to be doing a tutorial on natural Korean men's K-pop makeup, and it's going to be inspired by Jin from BTS and their recent music video DNA. It's very simple, clean, and it should be pretty easy to do. And we're going to pair this look with 3 different outfits at the end. So, should we get started?
Yeah, let's go.
Great, let's go. Now, let's start the men's makeup tutorial, inspired by BTS's very own Jin.
Okay, so obviously, as usual, we start with a clean canvas, so make sure you wash your face, and we are going to go straight into the first step, which is toning. What it does is actually helps with sebum control. So a lot of men have oily skin and larger pores, so it's very important to make sure that you actually keep your skin oil-free for the day, especially if you're wearing makeup, because makeup will tend to make your skin a lot more oilier. So we're going to go in with this first with a cotton pad and just apply it through the skin. Focusing especially on the T-zone area, because that's where you're oily the most. So we're going to just also tone the neck, because with Korean makeup a lot of it is quite light, so you want to make sure you blend everything down to the neck. Next thing we're going to do is the lips. Obviously Jin's actually quite famous for his lips, so he's got really nice plump pink and hydrated lips, and Eric here obviously has been quite dehydrated for the day.
Super dry.
We're going to actually first exfoliate, and look how cute the packaging is. This is why I love Korean products. So cute. So this one is basically like a lip scrub, and all I'm going to do is just put some of this actually on his lip and just exfoliate, and this will just help to prep his lips for the lip gloss and lipstick later. Okay, so as you can see, it's a lot more hydrated now. We're going to just quickly apply a little bit of lip gloss on there just to make sure it's hydrated before we move on to the rest of the face. So we're going to use just a lip balm, and this is also really cute. Okay, and we're just going to quickly apply a bit of lip balm just all over the lips to make sure it's hydrated. So Korean skincare is obviously a very big thing, and it's very important to make sure your skin's hydrated and moisturized before putting on makeup. So you can obviously go through your skincare routine prior to putting on makeup. I've got here a moisturizing and a snow whitening formulation cream, which is great for not only help to prime and prep the skin, but also give you that like a whiter or a brighter effect, which is usually what happens because you want to make sure that your skin tone is usually 2 shades lighter than what you are normally to create that sort of Korean K-pop look. Apply this all over the face.
Wow, it's like super white.
So you can see already it makes a huge difference, just like on one side of the face. How much more concealed and brighter you look. And just make sure you blend all the way down to the neck as well, because like I said, the color is not going to match you completely, so you're just going to make sure that you blend. Look at that.
Oh my god, it's like super white. I don't think I've ever been this white before.
Oh my god. So we're actually going to let that sort of sit and dry for a bit before we apply on the next thing, which is the primer. And primer is very important, especially in Korean makeup, because it's all about that skin. It's all about that flawless, you know, poreless look. And priming is so important because you also can get that natural glow or that skin look while applying 100 layers of makeup. And this one actually has a tinge of pink in it, so it kind of gives you that nice and brightening effect as well. Same thing, I'm just going to apply this directly with a sponge. And as you can see, it's going to start filling up the pores and any scarring that you might have. So acne scarring is very common amongst men because men tend to have more of a active sebaceous gland, and it's easier for them to have like acne and pimples and whatnot. So this is obviously very, very important, especially in men's makeup, to make sure you fill in all the pores and holes, and therefore making the makeup look more flawless. Apply a little bit more primer just in the affected areas. So I'm just going to go over with just a little bit more of this, in particular the cheek area, which is also where I have most of my concerns as well. And I'm just going to use a patting motion just to make sure that these holes are more filled out. And as you can probably see, that you can see the skin starting to glow. So the next thing we're going to do is actually, first before I apply the foundation, is go over just the areas with a concealer and make sure we conceal those spots first, because then once we apply the foundation on top, those areas will be more covered because you have an extra layer of concealer underneath. Sometimes we might have to go back after the foundation just to conceal those areas again, but we're going to do this step first so we can make the foundation look more natural. So I'm just going to go in and just fill out those spots, especially just the areas that you kind of currently have a little bit of breakout. So we just concealed most of the spots, and now we're just going to go in with the foundation to even out the skin tone, and if we need to, we can go back with another concealer and make sure we have all those areas covered. You can use the cushion provided in the package, but I find with the sponge it's a little bit better because you can actually blend the color in a lot better as well. So just use a patting motion, just pat the foundation onto the skin, and that way it creates more of a flawless and poreless look. And this is going to bring a bit more color back into Eric's face because right now he looks really, really white. Time-consuming part of the makeup look is to actually get the base done.
Actually, in Korea, the professional makeup artists, they also pat like this. It takes a lot of work to achieve that natural, no makeup look, yeah.
Yes, guys, it's harder to do no makeup look than it is to look like you have makeup on. So guys, make sure you blend down the neck because you want to be the same color all the way through. Also make sure you blend into the hairline so that it actually matches your scalp color. So next thing we're going to do is go back with the duo concealer, and we're going to use the liquid side now just to highlight the under eyes. And this one actually has a doe foot applicator, so you can just apply it directly onto the eyes. And we're just going to use a little mini triangle shape. And again, using the sponge, and we're just going to blend that color out. So now we're just going to go back in with a bit more concealer and a smaller brush just to fill out any gaps and discoloration that we have, so make sure the whole face is the same color. And I'm just going to focus on more of the scarring because usually that color is a lot darker than your natural skin color, so you want to make sure you fill in those little holes and just brighten it so you can lift it back up. Also, obviously if you have perfect skin, then you can totally skip this step. So now we're just going to quickly blend out the rest of the concealer with just a sponge that we were using earlier. Just make sure everything is blended in. just pat, pat, pat away. So try to avoid any swiping motion because then you're just going to undo all that hard work. The next thing we're going to do is eyebrows, and eyebrows on Jin is actually quite natural and more rounded. So what I'm going to do with Eric is just remove a couple of hairs underneath this corner here to make his eyebrows a little bit more rounded, and then also use the brow pencil here just to fill out the brows and make it a bit more curved and more smooth. It just makes the less pointier and less harsh. So by removing some edges on the brows, you actually make the eyes a bit more friendlier, a bit more happier. And Jin has more of a curved brow, so we just remove some of that corner there. And now we're going to go in with the Innisfree Auto Brow Pencil, and we're going to fill in the brows and make it look a bit more long and filled out. Okay, so I'm just going to use this pencil just to fill out some edges. Just keeping the brows nice and straight with a little bit of curve at the end. So the next thing we're going to do is add a little bit more dimension in Eric's face. Because Jin actually has a really smooth and flawless look, his face is actually a slightly rounder face compared to Eric. So what I'm going to do is just going to emphasize on the nose contour as well as just making Eric's face slightly a little bit shorter. So I'm going to add just a bit of color on the sides of his nose. And also Jin has a very defined nostril. So what I'm doing is I'm also going to draw a little bit of nostril here. And then I'm also going to black out this area. And on the other side, we do the highlight stick, which is the wider side, and what we're going to do is just highlight majority in the center of his face, which is here. Now we're just going to use a blending brush and just blend out the harsh edges. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is set the base. So this is just translucent powder, it's got no color. We're just going to make sure we set everything because we don't want all that hard work to go to waste. Now we're going to add a bit of blush to Eric's face. So with Jin, it's actually quite natural, so I'm not going to use a bronzer or anything like that, but something a bit more of a shadow color, so peachy tones would be great. I'm going to use this palette here, and I'm going to go with more of a natural color like True Flush here. And instead of using a brush, I'm actually going to use a sponge and just gently tap it, and then pat it on like you're glowing from inside. So now I'm just going to grab this coral shade here and actually just add it to the outer corners of the eyes to sort of mimic that bigger or rounder eyes with a small pointy brush like this. There's also some brown shading around the eyes, so I'm just going to go back in with a bronzer color and just go over the coral just to blend it out a bit more, but also make it a bit more natural as well. So by adding bronzer to the top of the lids, we're going to make Eric's eye shape a little bit more rounder, similar to Jin's. So just going to add it just top here, like gently dabbing and then blending. So next thing we're going to do is the upper waterline, which is very common in K-pop makeup. And just gently fill this in between the lashes.
I think I'm gonna cry. It's so itchy.
Okay, so next thing we're going to do is curl his lashes, and because Jin's lashes is actually quite straight and black, and because usually when you put makeup on you get powder on your lashes and whatnot, so what we're going to do is just going to curl them so it's actually straight and not going down, and then we're just going to apply a very thin coat of mascara, whether you have clear or black, just to make sure the lashes stay straight and forward as opposed to down.
Oh my god.
It's not as scary, hey.
My non-existent lashes.
You actually have really long lashes.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, so now we're just going to grab mascara, any mascara you have, and what I'm going to do is just remove any excess product on a tissue. So for the lips, this is actually one of the most crucial part because Jin actually has really nice plump, pink, almost like hydrated and I wouldn't say juicy, but really nice lips. So what we're going to do is kind of mimic that with a bit of product. What I'm going to start off with is actually redefining Eric's lips to make them look a little bit fuller than they are. So I'm going to draw a lip line just across the lips and even out the shape. And then afterwards, I'm going to conceal any areas that we have that we need to sort of fix up and make the same shape of Jin's lip. And then we're going to finish off with a bit of gloss and some plumping lip gloss to make his lips a bit more fuller. So the first thing I'm going to do is go in with the lip liner. So we're going to match this side of the lip to this side, which means we're going to overdraw the shape a little bit. And Jin has more of a bigger bottom lip, so we're just going to draw outside of that lip line here as well. And then what I'm going to do is going to fill the lips in with the lip liner. So now we're just going to reshape Eric's lips to look more like Jin's, which is slightly smaller and a bit more fuller. So I'm just going to go back in with the concealer and just shade off the sides. And because it's a gradient lip, we're also going to go in with a sponge and actually apply foundation or concealer around the lips to make it more brown. So the last step we're going to do is apply a plumping lip gloss to the center of the lips. And you can get them in different shades, but I've just picked this one up. You can use any shade you want pretty much.
For the hair, we invited one of our own editors to imitate a similar style to Jin's. Obviously, my hair isn't as long as his, but we can still make something that looks trendy and stylish by using a hair straightener and curler. So, what do you think of the final look? Let's see how we can style this makeup with 3 different outfits. everyone, we're back. So this is one of the final looks anyway. I'm really interested to know which one you like the most. We did try to put on the contacts, but it's, as you may already know, contacts are quite hard to put in for the first time. It's really a personal preference whether you want colored contacts or you don't want to wear contacts. I know a lot of K-pop idols wear them, but I think fashion and styling is really up to you and how you express it. So yeah, choose something that you look good in. This is just an example style. And yeah, what did you think, Mia?
I really like the style on you. I feel like it's obviously the most closest to Jin as well. I feel like whatever style that you choose at the end, as long as you're comfortable with it and you're happy with it, that's all that matters.
I think so too. So thank you for watching, and like, comment, subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube channels, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. 안녕.